Yeah, thank you. I'm just as a quite explanatory, I suppose, that the statement itself, the new, as you're aware, actually neither since the new rollout of the Garda vetting forms, there has been a disconnect really from the legislation to the reality on the ground. A serious problem that has arisen, and it's a valid query that I was asked from a principal, Michael Ryan, in a school in Waterford. He at present wants to take on some temporary staff, or if he has a new teacher that he wants to come and work for him. The length of time, it's up to him now and his own board. They can be held personally liable, as you know, under the new legislation if they do not get the Garda vetting in order. And the problem he has, if somebody comes to look for some temporary, it's taken 5 or 6 weeks to evidently get it for their particular school. If they had a Garda vetting and were working in another school, or an existing teacher working in another school, the one that they have working in another school does not apply to his school. And under the new legislation, they have to apply to the Gardaí and get the cert to pertain to their school. There seems to be a real disconnect in this, Minister. Also, with social clubs and social bodies, for argument's sake, if you wanted to be a coach yourself and you're a coach with the GAA team would have to apply, get the cert back, get the cert back from the Gardaí. If he wants to be with the soccer team, you want to be with the Scouts, they all have to apply individually at present. That's, duplication and paperwork. It's really, I don't know. I think there has to be a simpler system. I do know with the new teachers that we're starting now, we have this electronic type cert, and there is a change with newer people coming into the workforce. I think a cert, if the Garda are approving you for one body, it should pertain and apply to all. I think there has to be a more streamlined system to make this work, and I suppose there's an awful lot more onus under the new legislation now, possibilities of jails and fines and everything else, so people are taking this very seriously, and I think possibly we have imposed this. While I welcome the legislation in principle, and I think it is good legislation, I think maybe we could have just really imposed this a bit quick without doing some of the groundwork behind it. Also, the fact, as I say, with the existing teacher stock or existing teachers that were here, that maybe they should have been, a lot of this maybe should have been done to give them the cert like the new teachers, that they could move more freely within schools. I think it's a serious problem and something I think we should address. Thank you.
Senator. Minister.
Thanks very much. I'm here representing the Taoiseach today, and the Taoiseach wishes to thank the Senator, and I do as well, for raising this matter, as it provides an opportunity for us to inform the House that there is currently no particular or undue delay in the Garda employment vetting process, in fact. And I explain why now. So we're glad to inform the House that there has been a very significant improvement in the time frame for processing vetting applications over recent months. The Garda authorities who operate the National Vetting Bureau informed the Taoiseach that at present in the order of 80% of vetting applications are processed by the Vetting Bureau within 5 working days. The current processing times represent a dramatic improvement in turnabout times, which have fallen from an average of 14 weeks in mid-2013. This improvement has come about as a result of unprecedented investment by the Government and the Garda authorities in providing the service, including an increase of over 80% in staffing levels in the past couple of years, and the rollout earlier this year, as the Senator has alluded to, of an e-vetting system. In April this year, the Taoiseach commenced the National Vetting Bureau Children and Vulnerable Persons Act 2012-2016, and in tandem with that, An Garda Síochána launched the e-vetting system. E-vetting facilitates the online processing of applications, and this has significantly streamlined the process and contributed to a sustained reduction in processing times for applications. A key feature of the e-vetting system is that the individual applicant can track the process of their own vetting application online and can therefore see when their application has been processed and return to the relevant registered organisation. The Taoiseach is informed that at present 85% of organisations registered for vetting are operating the e-vetting system. The Garda authorities are working to encourage all other organisations to do so, and the Senator might be able to help in that, in actually letting people know about it. For vetting applications that continue to be submitted in the old paper format, the average turnaround time is around 4 weeks from the receipt of the application by the Vetting Bureau, and this represents a minimum time frame given the administrative input required. So, Cahill, the Senator is right about the paperwork involved. If they go to the e-vetting system, it's a lot faster. In some additional cases, it can take longer to process an application, where, for example, additional inquiries are necessary or where errors have been made in the application. It is important to note that delays can also occur in other aspects of the application process, which are outside of the control of the Garda authorities, for example, in the submission or return of applications by the registered organisations. So, in summary, the overwhelming majority of vetting applications are processed within 5 working days, and that is not at all unreasonable in the circumstances. Delays can arise mainly in aspects of the process that are outside of the control of the Garda Vetting Bureau. And I also have the Senator have to say, with respect to the kind of carrying on of certificates, the Joint Committee looked at this a number of years ago, and the advice from everybody was that that was not really advisable, given the actual serious nature of what we're talking about here with children and vulnerable adults. And the system now is working pretty well. So, again, I want to thank the Senator for raising this. It's a very important matter, and hopefully this new system now will meet the concerns that the Senator has raised. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister.
Just on a point of clarity, no, I appreciate that, and look at it. It makes a lot of sense what you're saying there. I'm just curious, if you don't mind, Minister, the new E-cert, am I correct to say that it will apply? I know you sort of hit on it there, but I mightn't have the right understanding of it, that if you receive a new E-cert, that it will catch all, it will do for all different bodies or whatever else, or you still have to individually apply for every particular body that you want to be a member of or are going to be employed by or whatever else?
Thank you, Senator. Minister.
Thank you very much. The Taoiseach would emphasise that the purpose of the Garda employment vetting obviously is to seek to ensure the safety of children and vulnerable adults. That's the important thing here. And the vetting process demands rigorous procedures to safeguard its integrity and to maintain the highest levels of confidence by the public and organisations availing of the service. So, again, the answer to the question is yes, it has to be individual. Any vetting process will take a certain minimum amount of time to complete, and given the importance of this service, the Taoiseach does not consider that processing time of 5 days at all unreasonable. E-vetting has contributed very significantly to improving the vetting service, and the Government and the Garda authorities are committed to sustaining that level of service going forward. Most organisations are now signed up to e-vetting, and there are great benefits to that, both for them and for the vetting applicants. As previously indicated, individuals can track their own application of the system. The Garda Vetting Bureau works with the registered organisations on an ongoing basis to maintain quality and standards in respect of the process, and the Garda authorities continue to work also with the other registered organisations to bring them on board. So there's huge improvements here, a lot of resources put in, and I think the report we've got back from the Garda authorities, it shows that it's working. I want to thank the Senator for giving us the opportunity to discuss the matter today. Very important matter.